You?
Opposite of dead.
Yes, it is. Hey, good morning, everybody. We are live. Sorry about that. We're having, exactly. RJ's in control somewhat. I'm learning to drive this new PC that I have. So bear with me if things seem slow or if something goes haywire or something, then you'll blame it on technology like everybody else does. You interrupted the show interrupted a great argument we were having about what time it is. And like the song says, does anybody really know what time it is? I don't know. We'll have to ask Andrew. He might have a bearing on it. But hello, everybody. Hey, Gunslinger Cal, I'm glad you're in the audience today. So yeah, we're having a good time. As you can see, we got Tom from Knife Delights, and we have our good friend Dave from Singing Toad. We have Andrew from Baxter's Blades, and now we have CB Tactical coming in. He's having some computer issues himself, so he may or may not. Are you there, CB?
I can see him.
I can see him, but his image is frozen.
He's giving us a stare down.
Yep. Hey, Tony's Ponies. I'm glad to see you made it. And Sean is here. Awesome. Randy's WSG is here. Yep, that is awesome. Randy, if you can help out with moderation, that would be most appreciated. We'll let Tom have some fun today.
I got the day off today?
Maybe.
Maybe. Thank you, Randy. I appreciate that.
Jesse McJames wants to get you Singing Toad onto his and Randy's show this week. So, yeah, that sounds good. If you can't find their emails or whatever, I can send an email to you, Dave, so you can maybe be a guest on their show.
I've had a few invites to different shows, and it's just a matter of time with me.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I would love to be on everyone's show. I would absolutely love to make everyone's show. It's just a matter of time with me. That's all it is.
Well, I'm really glad that you were able to or get your schedule arranged so that you could be on this one.
Yeah, I actually got a weekend off for the first time in like forever. So.
Oh, nice.
We had yesterday off, and I got today off as well. So that was quite a blessing to get that. And that was just done, by the way. The schedule fell, so I was fortunate. I didn't have to ask for it.
Right.
So glad to be here.
That is cool. Hello, Addicted to Blades 2 is here. So he's here. We got everybody coming on in. This is pretty good. So today, I just thought we would talk about a couple of different things. I know Dave wanted to talk about our experience with customer service with different knife companies. I guess you had an issue with Vosteed, or did you have a story you wanted to tell about that?
Yeah, I guess I could start if there isn't anyone else who has something they'd rather talk about.
Well, I figured you could start since you said you wanted to kind of discuss it, and then we can go from there. I got some stuff too.
Sure. So I got this Vosteed knife here.
Let me go ahead and bring you back up to full screen here.
So this is the Vosteed Mini Nightshade, and this is in the Nitro V. And what did I do with the box? I set it around here somewhere. Where is it? I was organized until I decided to sit down. So this is the box, the Vosteed box, and inside the box it came with a whole bunch of goodies. There, in my video, I show all the things that come in here. There's like a cleaning cloth and things, and all these. There's a nice little case and everything. But what it came with was a set of springs. So it came with a set of the standard springs, which were in the knife itself, and I don't know how well you'll be able to see that here because they're really, really tiny. But these are the standard springs that go inside the lock. So the crossbar lock, which I'm just going to call it what it is, an Axis lock, because it's Benchmade who figured that one out. It's got two sets of springs, one on each side, and you need those springs in order to be able to keep the retention on this crossbar so that the knife just doesn't fold shut on you. So the standard springs that come inside the knife are really thin. And the problem is with that. Now, depending on where you live in the world, if you live in the United States of America, where freedom is still a valued thing, it doesn't matter to you. But here in the land of Canada, where our privileges are taken away from us day by day, if you have a knife where you can do this, if you can do this and the blade flies out, that is considered a flick knife and therefore falls under the Prohibited Weapons Act, making it an illegal thing to have. So what I wanted to do was to switch out and put the thicker springs in. So again, it's probably hard to see, folks, and I do apologize because there's a lot of glare and they're inside a baggie here, but these springs are a little bit thicker. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. See if I can try and...
Yeah, they're just the Omega springs is what
they're exactly the Omega. I'm going to call it what it is. All right,
yeah.
They're the Omega springs. All right, the Vossi's just copying Benchmade's design. That's all they're doing, and they're not the first company to do that. There are many other companies. Gonzo has a version of this and everything else. But anyway, so there's the Omega springs. I wanted to put the thicker ones in. Problem is, inside the box, the springs that came inside the box were both for the left-hand side of the knife only. So you need the springs. One is curved one way, one is curved the other way, to go inside these slots on the inside of the knife here. And I only had two of the left-hand side. I'm like, well, that's no good. So anyway, what I'm trying to say here is I reached out to Vosti, I sent them a nice little email, and a lovely representative named May responded back and was genuinely concerned, wanted to help me out, and asked if I could, just for clarification, if I could show a picture of what exactly I was talking about. So I showed a picture, or I sent them an email, a picture of the knife taken apart, showing the springs, and then right away she responded back and said, "Okay, give us your mailing address, and we'll send you out some." And then lo and behold, a couple weeks later, I had 2 brand new sets of the thicker springs, which I've already gone ahead and installed them in the knife, and now you can see I can flick the knife, and the blade is not coming out. And sorry, my camera's over here. But I can flick the knife, and you can see the blade is not flying out all willy-nilly unless I flick it out, okay, intentionally. And that's the way this knife should be here in the land of Canada, to keep the lawful authorities happy. Folks, don't give up your freedoms.
That's right.
Don't vote for politicians who'll take your freedoms away from you.
That too.
All right.
Because trust me, they are trying to infringe on our freedoms each and every day. There's always something in some form or fashion. And so it's just unfortunately we gotta be watchdogs for our own selves, because there's nothing else that they'd like better than to take everything away from us.
100%. So I guess the long story short is just I'm very happy with Vosti, their customer service. There was no guff. And just so you know, folks, I reached out to them with my own personal private email. Like I have multiple email addresses. I didn't use my Singing Toad one. I used my personal one. They didn't know who I was. I didn't identify myself as a YouTube reviewer. I got no special treatment. I didn't say, hey, send me some free springs and I'll say some nice things about you. I did that all completely anonymously, just under my own personal name. And that's how they treated me. So I can only assume they would give you the same treatment. Yeah,
I think that all in all, most of the companies that are out there, they do honor their warranties, and they're really good about it. Some are better than others. Jesse McJames is already talking about you, Baxter. He says you're not wearing pants. Oh, my gosh.
I guarantee I got pants on. I've that's the way to do it, is email them. Don't let them know you're a part of a nice channel. I know Big Red, he does that when he dealt with Case, and that's good that you got good customer service from Vosti. I've heard people have a hard time with Kaiser. I've never had an issue with a Kaiser, but I've heard people have warranty issues trying to go through Kaiser. Maybe it's because they're not based in the States.
Yeah, and then the only one I've really had experience with is Buck, and I did the same thing where I used my personal email, and didn't identify myself in any way, shape, or form, and just sent them some knives, and they totally hooked me up. And I have them here. I've shown them before, but I'll get them since I got them right here. Let's see here if I can get myself into the right frame. But I had this Buck 303 Cadet that I sent in for the spa treatment. I bought this in a thrift store, and they polished up the bolsters real nice. All the blades came resharpened, and everything is all cleaned up. And this is just like it was brand new. And this is a knife from 1993, I think was when I dated this one, because it just has the dash on it. But this blade had a broken tip, and the blade was all chewed up, and so they fixed that. And then this blade was all chewed up as far as somebody really used it to scrape a lot of stuff, and that blade was all messed up and jagged, and they fixed it all up. So like I said, it's like a brand new knife. And then I had sent in another used one, which is this Buck 113 Ranger Skinner, and they polished it up, fixed it up. And this knife was a user. Somebody used this hard. They used it for hunting. I think, the stuff that was on the brass bolster was blood stains, and they even refurbished the sheath, as you can tell from the character on the belt flap there. I mean, and this sheath was all beat up and stuff, but they cleaned it and got it to where it's actually not so bad. So I have nothing but good to say about Buck and their warranties. Definitely good stuff.
For sure. Hey, where's HTEDC? Is there a miscommunication?
I guess so. Yeah, I don't know what happened to him. He had an invite, and I guess he decided that he wasn't invited. I don't know. But that's okay.
Maybe something came up.
Exactly. Or maybe he made other plans. There you go. Now CB is here. It looks like he's not all froze up.
I had to get on my phone.
Oh, okay.
My internet ain't working worth a crap. But I apologize, gentlemen. I come from underneath a 68 Chevy van pulling out 56-year-old grease this morning to come. And I appreciate you having me here. As always, nice to meet you, gentlemen. Tom, not you. But RJ, you have a good day. I appreciate you. Now, let's talk about some bad experiences, okay?
All right.
So, Northern Knives does a collaboration with Colorful Filth. Paul Munko is an excellent artist. And so, Metal Complex come out with a knife that they were doing a collaboration on, and I was like, that's beautiful. Well, the sales for it went that morning. So my wife was like, okay, order it. That's your anniversary present and your Christmas present. Good luck. And so it was this Spyderco PM2, and it's hard to see, but I mean, cool. It's just a beautiful knife. Well, ordered it in March, and they said, anywhere from 2 to 3.5, 4 months for delivery. And they were going to start as soon as they hit their mark. They only make 250 knives. That's it. And so they made it to like 200. Well, we were supposed to get a refund at 100, 150, 200, and then at 250, because the more knives that were ordered, the price goes down and down and down, right? Well, come August, now from March to August, that's April, May, June, July, August. So 5 months later, so we're already at like a month overdue, right? So I call up to Northern Knives, and I'm telling you what, they were the rudest people ever. So I waited about a month. I didn't call back. I was so mad. Like, if I could drive to Alaska, I'd choke these people to death. So I wait about another month and still no word. I mean, the company's not conversing with the customers, nothing, just nothing. And we're talking about a $400 knife that we paid for up front. And so I called back up there. Well, apparently, I wasn't understanding the time difference between here and there. I'm calling at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, my time. And apparently it's 9 o'clock in the morning there. So this dude proceeds to dog talk me because I'm calling as they're opening, right? And he picks up the first time he picks up the phone, he's like, "We're not open yet. Quit calling back."
Wow.
And I was like, oh. So I waited about 15 minutes and I called back. Dude proceeds to talk to me like crap again. And at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm $400 into this knife. These people were talking to me like crap. How much is a plane ticket to Alaska? Because I'm going. And my wife's like, hold on. Let me call. And so she calls and they're like, oh, yes, ma'am. It's this number. And yeah, it's going out next week. So why didn't they do that with me? And I'm talking to them like I'm talking to you all right now. And so since they done that, and you can see on my box here, I'm number 61 out of 200 plus knives. And 6 months go by, and I finally get confirmation that my knife is going to come. Well, 3.5 weeks later, almost a whole month later, the knife finally shows up. That was one of the most worst experiences I've ever had with a knife in a knife company. I never told them who I was or anything. But boy, let me tell you, the first video I did on this, I ripped them a new one. And they deserve it because that's bad business.
Yeah.
Now, it'd be one thing if it was, I don't know, a small mom and pop shop that nobody's ever heard of, but Northern Knives is pretty substantial.
Yeah.
And they throw out these $300, $400, $500 knives, and I understand production is production, but if you're a business person, you keep in touch with the customer. You don't keep them hanging for 6 months, especially. Now if it was a $20 Rough Rider, okay, who cares? But when you're start talking $300-$400 for something, you want it, and
Right.
and you don't want to be talked to like crap because it takes me a long time to make that money, and so yeah, I won't never do business with Northern Knives again. I'm not talking crap about them except on here with y'all, but I don't pursue them. I don't try to make everybody not do business with them, but I'm telling you, that is bad.
Yeah, that is bad.
And then I've got another story, if you can bear with me for a minute.
Of course.
Everybody knows I've made it absolutely positively clear that I'm a Rick Hinderer fan. And I was so jealous of Stephen and Patty Peeler and Ireland had a freaking XM18 and I couldn't get one. And I lived literally like, I don't know, 250 miles from them. So Bluminati Ninja, we all know Bluminati. He's a great guy.
Mm-hmm.
about 11:30 one night, he messaged me and he's like, "Hey, Rick Hinder just dropped some knives on their website. You might want to check it out." Of course, in standard fashion, I go on there and just about everything's gone. Well, I pick one, and as soon as I pick it and put it in the cart, it said out of stock. So I got literally the last one. Well, I ordered it. I'm just like so happy. Here's 5 years I've been trying to get one of these knives, and I finally get one. Yeah, UPS lost it.
Oh,
So,
no.
like a month later, with conversing with Hinderer, they finally was like, you know what? We're going to just build you a new one because we don't have any more. We've sold all we had. And they were like, we're just going to build you one and send it to you. And if the other one shows up, you can send it back, whatever. And I was like, man, that is just super duper awesome. Yeah, UPS lost it too.
Oh no.
And so this time I didn't open a case on it. I just kind of let it ride. Well, like 3 days go by. It's sitting up in the town right next to me at the distribution center. And so like 3 days go by, and finally I get a knock on the door, and I had to sign for it. So I finally got my XM18
Nice.
Spear Point. The other one, it's still gone. I assume it's somebody that worked in the company that knew what Hinderer was and just kind of stuck it in their pocket, or it got hung back behind something in the truck. I don't know. But between these two knives, that's the worst experiences I've ever had. I do give it to Hinderer though. They did not have to do what they did, but they made it up by making me a new one from scratch. Like I said, they stopped making these. They were going to move on to something else, so they didn't have no stock, and they made it to send to me. So to me, that's about as good a company as you can deal with right there. Not many places are going to say, "Hey, let me send you another $425 knife."
Right.
And if the other one shows up, you can send it back or you can keep it or whatever. It's all good.
Yeah.
And and so I still hold them up high on the pedestal, because they make good stuff. And I mean, how can you beat that customer service?
Well, exactly.
So, that's my two really worst experiences that I've had with knives. And Tom, it is good to see you, brother. I'm glad you're doing okay.
Tom, you're muted again.
He likes it. He likes it. CB, don't get him wrong. I mean, he knows there's that good Army Navy rivalry and stuff. He's got to keep it up.
Navy.
You just got to watch out for those Navy guys. They'll get you.
Oh, I know.
I always think of that Village People song, "In the Navy." The 7 seas in the Navy.
That was what convinced Tom to enlist.
Oh, I wanted to meet the Village People. I see.
He wanted
We
them
actually have some
uniforms.
We have some different lyrics to that song, but this is a family show, so we won't.
They're not family friendly. Is that what you're telling
Not
us?
friendly,
I'm
yeah.
sure there's some very different dance moves too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to say hello, CB Tactical. I don't believe I've met you yet.
No, but I've watched you a lot, Singing Toad. You
Oh, well, thank you.
got some good stuff going on. You too, Baxter.
Yeah, good to see you, CB. It was nice to get your traveling knife. The Swiss Army Hunter. That was really cool.
It's still traveling.
Mhm.
It's been out for 6 months now.
At least, yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
So
Yeah. Well, I don't
I'm
have the
pretty
knife
proud of
with. I don't have the knife with me, but Case, my brother bought a little peanut. Was it Red Bone? I think. Anyway, a peanut Case peanut at an antique store and missing the shield. So I wrote to Case. They just asked to send some pictures with the knife model and that. Make sure they can get the correct shield to send you, and it all went very well. They sent me a new shield, and it didn't cost anything, and you just have to put it in yourself. So I was very happy with Case. They were very responsive and friendly throughout the whole deal. Of course, I've had a couple experiences with buck warranties and their spa treatment and sharpening the blade, putting a factory edge back on an old 112, and I think they did a wonderful job too. So
Didn't they have that one? It was the 110 that you had with the one guy. Remember?
yeah,
And that was an
And I'm-
older 110. They sent that in for a spa treatment, I think.
yeah, and I'm actually surprised that video didn't get more views, but it's called the Buck 110: A Brother's Story, and
Yeah.
so a friend of mine, his brother passed away, and so my friend got his Buck 110. I think it was from like the 90s, maybe the 80s. I don't remember. And they had both I mean, you talk about hard use. They both worked construction. They were dropping it on concrete and cutting things they shouldn't have been cutting with it. And, just using a knife. And so my friend decided he would send it in and get a new blade put on it. And they did that, and then they engraved his deceased brother's name on the blade for him. I
Oh,
mean, that costs more. I mean, but you can have things engraved, and if you ever do this to send a buck knife in to get the blade replaced, make sure that you tell them you want the old blade back, and just say for sentimental reasons. And the reason is it was an old knife, so it was an old blade. So to have the old blade back, showing that it was still an old knife, was nice to have. But they just did a bang up job. He told them what he wanted engraved on it, and they, did it up and emailed it to him and say, "Hey, is this what you want?" And he's like, "Yep, that'll do it." So if blades are available, you can get a blade replaced on a knife for $10 from Buck. The spa treatment is $8. So they go in, they'll put a new factory edge on and polish everything all up. If you have an older knife, like a knife that's no longer in production and they don't have that particular blade anymore, sometimes they'll replace that knife with something comparable, a model that's comparable with it. So, yeah, I can't say enough about Buck's forever warranty.
hello,
And Thrifty yeah. And Thrifty wants to say, somebody to say CB hello for me. So, hello, CB from Thrifty.
What's up, John? Hope you're having a good Sunday, brother.
Yep, for sure.
So yeah, that's Buck's always been excellent about that. I'm hesitant to do my dad's 110, but he's recurved the blade, and it could stand for a new blade, but it's just my dad's, and it's how he's
Mhm.
done it, and it's just I'm kind of hesitant, but I really want to do it. But at that point, I think the sentimental value outweighs it being pretty.
Mhm.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. You just have to decide, is it worth it to send that original one back in to get it fixed up, or is it better just to go buy one off the shelf?
Yeah, I think
New memories.
at that point, just go buy a custom Buck 110.
Oh yeah.
That always
And
works. If
and
HT
put the
was here,
sentimental up.
yeah, HT would second that notion.
Yeah.
He's our custom buck man, which
He's got a bunch of them, don't he?
Yeah, he does. It makes Tom happy and jealous at the same time.
Mhm.
I got one.
Yeah, there you go. Which is one more than I have. And there we go. Toad's got his 110 right there by him. Is that one? That's not a custom though. That's just a standard.
No, this is just standard. But since you guys mentioned Buck's customer service, I also had an experience with Buck that I wanted a positive story. And this is my Buck 110, and I got this knife back in 2003. However, I was much younger and much more silly back in those days, and I was working in a factory at the time, and I was carrying this, and I had the knife open. And I went to reach. I set it down on the workbench, and I went to reach for it to cut some rope, and or I forget what it was. And I was either rope or cardboard. I don't remember what it was. I was grabbing the knife for, but because the knife was kind of, I don't know if these little studs that stick out the side here. Now this thumb stud wasn't on there at the time. That's a recent addition. But these little, I'm not putting this in front of the camera the right way. I don't know if can you guys see that little protrusion sticking up the top there?
Yeah.
Okay, so that right there, the knife was kind of like teetering on that, and of course it fell down. And you would think, being such a heavy-handled thing, it would fall butt first onto the floor, but no, it fell blade first onto a concrete floor, and it snapped the tip off.
Yeah, with all that weight behind it.
You know, these things aren't light, you know. You know, the good thing about the Buck knife, the 110, on a side note, is that, you know, they do function as, you know, you need to drive a tent stake in or correct someone's attitude or, you know, miss some brass knuckles, you know. But anyway, yeah, so I snapped the tip off. So I sent this knife into Buck, and they only charged me $10. Now it was $10 US, so I had to pay the exchange. So it cost me a total like $15 altogether, all said and done. But they're super cool about it, and they put a brand new blade in. So this isn't the original blade. It's got the T stamp, which is for 2004, because that was the next blade they had in line. But it originally had the other way shaped T for 2003. So I didn't know at the time you could ask for the original blade back. Not that it had any sentimental value because to me whatsoever, but you know, there it is. So that is the and they were super cool about it. Now it did take a little bit of time to get to me. You know, Buck is in the United States and I'm in Canada, and you know, now the cool thing is back in those days you could send any knife across the border and the CBSA didn't really seem to care. I do have another Buck knife that I also snapped the tip off of, and this one I just ground it myself, and now it's kind of like a kind of a spay blade knife. Hey, it's a Buck spay blade.
That's a good point.
So anyway, I don't know how you can see that there, but I just ground that off myself, and I know I could send this to Buck and they would go ahead and reblade it for me. But now because of the new laws with CBSA, I'm afraid it wouldn't come back to me.
Right.
So I'm not going to do that. And you know, this knife is just something I keep in the collection. I don't really carry it. But anyway, so I just wanted to explain that you know, Buck has really good customer service, and even back then, and back in those days, that was before. I mean, the internet wasn't really a thing. So I was communicating to them I called them because in every Buck box it comes with a warranty package, a phone number, and there's a mailing address and everything. So I called them, and then I wrote them a letter, and then ultimately I went to the post office and made arrangements to send the knife to them. And it took, I think, a total of like, I want to say 6 weeks altogether from the time I sent it to them to the time it came back. And I just sent a one of those what the heck was it called now? Money order. I haven't done that in decades. I sent a money order. You know, you guys remember these days? You know, I'm actually old enough to remember those things before the internet, before you could just e-transfer money and stuff like that. You know? Right. Heck, that was even before the day debit cards were really even a thing. So, yeah. So that's my story on Buck. You know, they're another brand that just treats their customer really well. So,
well, that's stayed in business so long.
Well, yeah, they're still a family-owned company, from what I understand. I think the company is still within the Buck lineage. Yeah, there you go, 4th generation. Yeah. I mean, one day Tom will inherit it. You know, when the current leader leaves.
At least be the COO, right?
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be fun to go to work for them.
Tell them that you're willing to legally change your last name to Buck.
Oh, there you go.
My
Then you
friend
can
was
just
doing
you can all call me Uncle.
It's a full on like semi-adoption thing, right?
Right, that's right.
You better start sucking on a cigar if we're gonna call you Uncle Buck.
I will. I'll go get one.
I got a few I can send you if you want.
You need to get a really nice ride like he had too.
Oh yeah. Yep.
It was
Right.
a
So yeah, it's
great New Yorker, I think, wasn't it?
so you're talking about 6
I think
weeks.
so.
It can take up to 12 weeks for a custom knife order or for warranty work to be done. I do know in talking with them one time, they do them as they get them in. So you can't call up and say, please do mine first or anything like that. That's all in line. And it just, shows that they stand behind the work, or people wouldn't be sending in so many to, get repaired or to get the spot treatment or.
Well,
I
and
like
that's
that.
the thing too, if you say, well, we're 12 weeks out from getting it done, well, that's what I expect you to hold yourself to.
Mm-hmm.
If it's going to be any longer than that, let me know.
Yeah.
I'll be fine with that. But
Yeah.
as a customer, adhering to your timeline as a business
Mm-hmm.
is important. And
Although the last custom knife I ordered, the 113, I got it in like 3 weeks, even though they said it could take up to 12. I got it in 3. So
Wow.
I think they like to give themselves plenty of time there.
sure.
Yeah, exactly. It's
And
one of those things that just depends on how much backlog they have at any one
Mhm.
time.
Well, I know there's only 1 or 2 people working on their warranty knives. Like I think it's Danny, and I can't remember the other guy's name.
Well,
Yeah, and hasn't he been there for like 40 or 50 years or
Yeah.
something like that?
I
Yeah,
was going to
Amazing.
say Danny's been there for like 45 years, I think.
Yeah.
And my
What
friend,
are they gonna do when he retires?
yeah, I know. Well, they have another guy working with him, so hopefully he'll, carry it on.
yeah. There's I'm sure that they have a OJT program going.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's going to take him 40 years to be as good as him. As
Yeah.
Danny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's something said for experience. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So what I was saying is my buddy did a van tour just recently to Oregon and up to Idaho, and I said stop by the Buck Factory, and he stopped by there just the other day.
Nice.
I hope to hit it this summer. It's not too far for me. I mean, it's Post Falls, Idaho. It's a good 5-6 hours.
From what I understand, you can buy factory seconds there, can't you? In
That's
the store?
yeah. That's what I told him. I said check out the store to tell me if they got anything good. He sent me pictures of, I don't know if they were vintage or maybe in their like a historical buck museum, but that was called Buckskin, and I got to ask him about that when he gets back.
Well, we'll have to ask Tom about that.
You know anything about buckskin? Is it actually like a leather covered handle? That he sent me some pictures. It looked pretty interesting. Never heard of buckskin before.
I wonder if that's like a 119 or something with a leather wrapped handle.
It was a folder.
Oh,
It's pretty.
Yeah, they had some of the little 525s. They had some sort of leather covers on them.
Oh, cool.
Right on. Let's see. Jesse McJames had an issue with a Buck Fieldmaster X and 2 Mentors. They refused to honor the warranty, but that was 24 to 25 years ago. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. That's as far as I know, they always had their warranty, but that was kind of weird.
Well, the forever warranty's kind of recent, if you will. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Last 20, 30 years, somewhere in there, I would say. And I don't know if it was Chuck, the grandson, or the current CEO, CJ. They were like, why are we making people fill out their registration forms and all this and that? We end up doing the repair work on them anyway. Let's just say, doesn't matter who the owner is. Can have 10 owners, it doesn't matter. If it breaks because of our workmanship, we'll fix it or replace it or, make do with it. So
Right.
and what's $10 on you know, a $50, $60, $70 knife, that's nothing.
Yeah.
I'd pay that to have it fixed.
Now, I will say, and I don't know what Jesse's issue was. I don't know if they said, well, this wasn't because of our workmanship. It was because you misused the knife, if that's what they thought. I don't know. But, you know, the forever warranty doesn't give you a license to go out and abuse your knife any way you want to and, you know,
Right.
beat on it with a sledgehammer trying to cut something with it, or, you know, it's got to be through a normal use and a failure of what normal workmanship, I guess.
So, Mikey, what they do with out of production knives is if they cannot fix it, they will give you the closest thing to it, brand new.
Yeah, they'll try to do the best they can to replace it with something of equal value.
Right. And there's Jesse's issue that tangs were slipping out of the rubberized handles.
Well, I can't speak for them. I don't know, Jesse, why
Yeah.
they denied it, but
Seems
and
like
I don't know, was that, Jesse, do you know, was that before the forever warranty?
we said it was 24 or 25 years ago, so this would have been right around 2000. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know when they started it.
It's really cool that Buck will warrant it no matter who the owner is.
Yeah.
I've dealt with Smoky Mountain Knife Works and Rough Riders, and they've been really good, but they did ask me kind of for a proof of receipt that I was the one that purchased it. So luckily in my emails, I was able to find that, hey, I purchased this knife, and it wasn't from them, it was from somebody else, and they were nice enough to send me another Rough Rider without even asking for the old one back. But Buck, they'll just take care of you, whether you are the original owner or not, which is really cool.
Yeah. And I did have Cheeto Ruxpin. Yeah, you have to be a certain vintage to get that. I love it.
Come fly with me, Cheeto Ruxpin.
There you go. That's funny. Yeah, I did have issues with SMKW with I'd ordered a box full of knives, and again, it was one of those things that FedEx said it was delivered. It never was delivered, and you know, then you'd go back to FedEx, and FedEx said it got delivered, but then you'd look online and it just stopped at a certain distribution point, and so I called up SMKW. They did an investigation, and then they sent me a replacement box that had all the same order in it, except for one item that I guess I'd got one of the last ones, and so they didn't, you know, fill that part of the order. But
did they comp you for it? Did they comp you for the missing knife?
They just took it off of the bill. You know, they just took off the money because they couldn't replace it, and so they just reduced the charge. So I got a credit for that.
I'll put this question out to you and to everyone in the chat. What are your thoughts if you purchase a knife online and they put it in the mail and it's legitimately put in the mail, and between the point of purchase and your residence, it gets lost?
I think every truck should be burnt on the road.
Well, do you believe the company that you bought it from is responsible for replacing that piece?
No. That's on the shipping company.
Yeah, it's what I think it's one of those things that they probably get their money back from, you know, FedEx or whatever.
Insurance.
You know, so, yeah, it's an insurance claim, you know, so.
So I do know this. So tax and shipping and everything from Rick Hinder ended up being like $460. And Hinder had $500 worth of insurance on it. So who comes out in the end? You know, and I asked Hinder, I said, how often does this happen? And they're like, more often than you know, but most of the time they find it.
Yeah.
You know, he said, but, you know, it's a waiting game to see if they can investigate it and find it. And then once they come back and say yay or nay, they'll cut us a check. So they get paid for it.
Right.
But I think it's all on the shipper. You know, it's kind of like the USPS. You know, you take your bill to the post office or whatever, you mail a letter or whatever at the post office and they lose it. Well, that's on them. You know, now you may still have to pay your bill again, but you can cancel that check or whatever
Right.
and get it done, but it's still on USPS.
Yep.
My mind. I don't know about you guys.
What do you say, Tom? It was your question or your comment.
Do you really want to hear?
Maybe,
No,
maybe not, but go ahead.
If they're getting reimbursed for it from the carrier that lost it, then I would expect them then to turn around and send me a new one. But I don't just immediately say, okay, it's lost, so now, automatically you owe me one. Okay, I can understand them wanting to settle up, especially for like a $400 knife. Yeah, but I don't know. I guess just from a business perspective, if it's a budget knife, what's it going to cost you to throw one in to keep the customer happy, because they're probably going to buy more from you anyway. So
Right.
and wait for the outcome. So I think a lot of it's just done just to take care of the customer, and they'll sort out the other issue with the carrier later. But yeah, I've had a bunch of knives in the last 6 months that, my gosh, I think they went around the world 3 different times, before they.
I don't understand what they're doing. Like,
Oh, I had one. I think it was coming from Texas or Louisiana. It'll come up to Kansas City, and then it should come up to Des Moines, which was our main hub, and then from Des Moines gets spread out. So it made it to Kansas City as it should have, but then it ended up in Chicago, and then it went somewhere else, and then it was delivered to a town that's like 10 miles from me. Well, instead of them picking up the phone and calling me, I'd have run over and gotten it. But oh no, they send it back to Des Moines. So then for about 5 days, it was showing being received in Des Moines, and then after 4 or 5 days, it shows that it departed there. And then a day later, it showed it received back there again. I mean, I'm telling you, this knife just went everywhere. I just couldn't believe it.
well, 9 times out of 10, most of the stuff that I order, if it comes from north of me, it goes right through my town. They drive it through my town to take it to the distribution center.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Don't make sense, but that's the way it is.
Well, overall, I understand the distribution because that's where all the sorting stuff is, and I get it from an efficiency point of view. But yeah, it gets a little frustrating.
Yeah, but is it efficient when it goes 120 miles from you and then comes back to you? When
In the overall
it was literally like 2 miles from me?
In the overall big scheme of thing, when you're talking about millions and millions of packages, yeah, it does. But on an individual level, it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah.
So James Alton wanted to remind everyone that Rosecraft is doing a second sale, so definitely go check that out. You can find some good deals, and I have experience with Rosecraft seconds, and to tell you the truth, they're really not bad at all.
I was looking at that this morning, and they did something new. You can choose whether it's a cosmetic second or a mechanical second.
Yeah, now
seconds may also have cosmetic issues, but they're a couple of dollars cheaper.
I think I'd go with cosmetic over mechanical.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather it work than not look great.
I have a few of their seconds, and they've been really good.
So now we know the real reason why everything's not working. Thanks, Byron.
Oh, Byron.
Thanks, Byron. Wow. You should have
Go
stayed
back to work, Byron.
Retirement's for quitters.
Yeah. Go back to work, Byron. I want my knives.
They throw Miss Tammy in there too. I mean,
I see that. I'll have to see if she has a response.
I'm almost afraid. But yeah, then Jesse had he had another problem with 2 buck excerpts that had lock failure, and they didn't honor either of those as well. So I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, we're definitely blaming Byron, mostly just because it's fun.
Don't know what to say there, Jesse.
And also for you guys that are in the chat. Oh,
If I may, RJ, I'm sorry to interrupt.
sure.
Jesse, thanks for bringing that up. I mean, we're not here to try to, gloss over everything and look through rose-colored glasses. If there's problems, there's problems. And so thanks for letting us know.
All right.
I know it looks like I'm wearing a freaking parachute, though. I look so big on that camera right there. It's crazy.
So it says Pepper Dingo wants me to say, "Hey, count to CB for you." So there you go. You got it.
Pepper Dingo is an awesome subscriber. He comments on every video. Just a great person.
Yeah.
Speaking of my channel, I'm still waiting to get to 1,000. Once I get to 1,000, my 1,000 subscriber giveaway.
Oh, I have a feeling we want to see this.
It's going to be a Leatherman wave.
Nice.
But I'm also doing weekly giveaways now. So if you see a knife on my channel, more than likely it's going to be a giveaway. So if you're subscribed, you're entered. As long as you leave a comment, and if you do it, you may not even realize you were entered into a contest. I do the giveaways on Wednesday. And in every video, I tell you, this knife is up for a giveaway, or this knife is I'm keeping it. So I make it very clear on what I'm giving away. I have probably 15 knives sitting over there I'm ready to give away. So if you want to get in on that, thank you.
Very cool.
You've always been very, very generous there, CB, with your giveaways.
Yes, he has.
Well, I just want to try to, I know a lot of us, we get on YouTube and we follow people and we kind of wait for their giveaways. And then, you're competing with 150 other people trying to get a giveaway. And I want my regular subscribers to reap the rewards of putting up with me and my crap, So I just want everybody to have a chance. And that's the only way I know to do it without pulling 150 people in to comment on a giveaway video. Yes, it helps boost subscribers, but to me, I'd rather take care of the people that take care of me on a weekly basis than do a big giveaway every now and then.
Right.
So, and a lot of these knives, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm just gonna sit them in a case somewhere and probably never touch them again. That's not fair to the knife. So I would rather somebody get it and enjoy it and maybe start their collection than me keep it. So thank you, RJ.
Well, you're welcome. I was just going to remind everyone to please hit the like button if you haven't, because that really helps the channel and the algorithm and everything. We'll get to you in just a second, Toad. And I think that TK says right there, he says he thinks all channels want their regulars to be rewarded. That's absolutely the case. And that's definitely something that's good for everybody, for sure. And if you guys want to put in the comments what you guys are carrying today for your EDC, that'd be awesome. We'll pick some out of there and we'll talk about that also.
Just remember, Junior would remind you, drink your prune juice so you can be regular.
There you go.
And eat your bran muffins too.
And if you double them up, whoo.
They get stuck in rush hour traffic. Fun times.
Yeah, don't go far from the toilet. That's all I got to say.
So I just wanted to start by saying to follow in on CB Tactical. I actually just subbed to you there, CB Tactical. I didn't realize I wasn't already subbed to you. Sorry about that.
Oh, well, thank you.
Help you to get to 1,000. And folks, I'm also trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as well. I'm at just over 900. I've been doing this for almost 4 years now, and I'm still plugging along, still trying to get to that alluvial 1,000 subscriber mark. And to answer RJ's question, in my pocket today, I've got my Spyderco Native 5 lightweight in the CPM MagnaCut steel.
Nice.
It's a super fantastic blade steel, and I just absolutely love this thing. And it's got I've got that custom clip on it, which has got the spider on it. It's a deep carry, and it's just I just love this knife. Super awesome. But what I wanted to also mention or talk about here is one of y'all mentioned about the shipping services, courier services, and should they be responsible for replacing a lost knife? So I actually have a story about that, and that's right here with this Cold Steel Recon 1. I actually have two of these. Well, I had two of them. Let me explain the story. So I ordered this from Amazon originally, and it got lost in the mail, as sometimes happens with Amazon. So I reached out to Amazon nicely and said, "Hey, I'm just curious. I noticed it's a few days past the guaranteed delivery date for my knife. Do you guys have any idea where it might be?" So the lady I spoke to was very, very nice, very super friendly, and she said, "Let me look into it." And then, a day or so later, I got an email from them saying, "We're going to go ahead and expedite you out another one." They admitted that they had lost it, or they couldn't figure out where it had gone, and they went ahead and sent me another one. Here's the irony: this knife that I'm holding in my hand, plus the one I originally ordered, arrived the same day. This one came from their expedited, premium service, and the other one came through Canada Post, and they arrived within an hour of each other.
Wow.
So anyway, my other one, I gave it to my brother as a gift because his birthday was coming up, and he doesn't really own any good knives. So this one here is in the S35 VN blade steel, and this is an absolute workhorse of a knife. The triad lock, the super thick slabs of G10. You can beat on this thing, and it's just going to keep going and going and going. So anyway, so that's my story about that. So that's an instance where the delivery service took care of the problem, and then what happens? I contacted Amazon back and said, "Hey, I actually got my original knife. What do you want me to do with it?" And they said, "Keep it." They didn't want it back.
You'd be surprised how much Amazon eats every day.
Oh, I wouldn't be one bit surprised at all. And Thrifty Kniffy asked about who's on the wall behind me, and yes, that is Bruce Lee. He's one of my
1-inch power punch.
Absolutely. And he has a quote, one of my favorite quotes from him, which says, "The key to immortality is first living a life worth remembering."
Water is hard, but it's soft.
So
make the cup.
Absolutely. So yeah, so that's just for anyone wondering what's back there. So that's and if I can just toss out a shameless plug.
Of course.
If that's not too much trouble to ask, I do have my brand new Singing Toad stickers in, and some of y'all should have already got them by now.
Yes, I just got mine yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Right on. I've sent out like 26 packages now, and I've got a whole bunch more I've got to send out. I've got people by the day emailing me or messaging me on Instagram. Anyone who's messaged me, yes, you're on. I've written a list, and as I collect more postage, I have to buy packs of U.S. or international postage, I'll when I get the opportunity, I'll send them out to you. So, but the only way to get one of my stickers is you do need to email me or message me on Instagram. If you leave a comment on my video saying you want one of my stickers, I'm not having that conversation with you in the chat. Okay,
Sure.
You must email me. Okay.
Toad,
Right.
Singing Toad.
Yep.
maybe you didn't know this now, but RJ charges for a plug. It's $9.99 for a shameless plug. It's $19.99. So I'll be sending you an invoice.
Okay.
Thank you.
And that make sure the check is made out to Tom.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll pay it in Canadian Tire money. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Oh, that is weird, Ken. If you couldn't find the show this morning, I don't know if anybody else had a problem. I did see it on my feed.
I couldn't find it this morning either. I had to wait till this afternoon.
Really? Well, there you go. And there you go, Dave. Just so you know, Ken's girls, they love the singing toad. They do.
Oh, thank you. I
So,
appreciate that very much.
so there you go. You got that going for you.
My brother's in the chat too.
Oh, is he?
Yes, he is.
Oh, nice.
I won't identify him. He's kind of ashamed of me, so I could do a giveaway of one of his knives that I happen to have, huh?
Oh, there you go.
That's
That's
great.
always fun. We can do it live here on the show.
Brotherly love.
Who else is embarrassed to talk about their YouTube channel in front of your family? Oh, yeah, I'm a knife review on YouTube. Sorry.
Yeah, I know it's funny because you do get those conversations. I was telling Tom this morning. It was funny because I was talking to my grandson, and of course I had told him that I was on YouTube a long time ago. And when I got to around 500 or 600 subscribers, he said, "Well, I knew that you did YouTube, but I didn't know you were serious about it," because he has a lot of friends that have YouTube channels that they post about games or whatever, and they'll have like 7 videos and 3 subscribers, but so he had a friend that is into knives, and he said he told him about my channel, said maybe you'll like my grandpa's channel and stuff. And he goes, and I didn't even know you did live streams. He goes, my friend said, "Hey, did you know your grandpa does live streams?" And he goes, he goes, my mind was blown. I was like, I can't believe my grandpa's doing live streams on YouTube.
I've got the coolest grandpa.
My
Yep.
favorite is whenever my friends or family say, "Oh, have you got to 1 million subscribers yet? Where's your gold
Yeah.
plaque?" I'm like,
Yeah.
it doesn't just happen like that. You know?
No.
Yeah, it's
I'm not Demolition Ranch here,
right, exactly.
I told my dad, I said, "Yeah, I got a YouTube channel. I review knives and EDC gear." And he's like, "What's YouTube?" I was like, "Yeah, I get that."
There you go. TK has the answer for you, Tom, right there.
Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe we can everyone here in the knife community, we can all come together for a common purpose, a common cause. Since we all want our knives delivered, let's refuse to show anything except purple knives until Byron goes back to work.
Oh my gosh.
And,
Well, good news
I
for
had to
Byron,
break
I
out
don't own
the
any
spray
fertilizer.
paint.
Yep. I don't know if we can. I don't have enough purple knives to do that. I only got
Yeah.
one.
I had to break out the spray paint.
Yeah, me too.
RJ, I'd tell you to order some, but you would never get them because Byron retired. So
There you go. There's that. Thanks again, Byron.
That's so funny.
Oh my gosh.
I've got a warranty story. And,
Okay.
and also a shameless plug. Well, let's start with my warranty story. So when I first started my channel, about this time last year, I did a video on Roper and their warranty, and I had picked up one of these. This is actually the one they sent me. It is the Rattler Trapper in Brown Micarta, and it really wasn't that bad. It had some blade rub to the tip. This is the actual knife. I had blued the blade. You can see the blade rub, and the tip kind of curves over that way a bit. And also had, you probably can't see it in here, I had some blade wrap. So not a major issue for a $20 knife. But
Right.
I basically emailed them and sent them up-close pictures saying, "Oh, man, I really like this knife. And, unfortunately, I've already blued the blade, so I don't know if I can do anything about it, but can you help me out?" And they said, yeah, they went and checked the warehouse. checked all their stock, and they said they were having a few issues with it, and they actually went through their showroom supply and sent me another, which was really nice at no charge, and they never even asked me to return the knife.
Nice.
So I thought that was really cool. They stand behind their warranty. Byron, this is for you. I'm going to put in the mail. My shameless plug is I just hit 1,000 subscribers last week. I am doing my 1,000 giveaway. If any of you guys want in on it, it's on my Thankful Thursday video. You can go there and leave a comment. It is this purple Best Techman. I've been wondering why Byron hasn't left a comment yet. Purple Best Techman, button lock in D2, and a Brandywine Stockman, and a few other things I'm going to throw in there, like a knife slip and some swag and a few other things if you guys want in on it. And yes, Jerome, I need to send RJ a check for $19.99 now.
Hey, congratulations, man.
Yep. Congratulations on getting to 1,000. It's a big deal. It really is. It's a big deal. It was a big deal for me to hit 2,000 here about a week or so ago. It's fantastic. Yep. Jesse said finally someone showed a purple knife. Andrew gets the first new chair.
Well, I started an open tag last week. Show your purple knives, and I had three in there. And I said, be sure to tag Splitting Slices in it so he gets to see them all. And I haven't seen very many responses, but I expected not very many people have purple knives. Yeah,
like I said, I was thinking about showing my one, but then it's like all I got is one. But I guess I could do that. But yeah, it's not as much fun if you don't have a variety. It's at least to me. But if I win that purple Best Techman, then I can definitely join in that.
Yeah, I've never really been into purple knives, but I tell you, Case's Purple Barn Board sold me. They do a really good job on their purple barn board.
Right.
And sorry, Byron, that's not part of the giveaway.
I can't have purple. If I get anything purple, it'd be confiscated as soon as it got in the door.
Is that your wife's color? She likes purple?
Yeah. She wants me to paint her 65 Mustang purple.
Oh, no.
That is I don't know. That's I don't know.
Snowflake in that purple.
It's a black car. I painted silver stripes on it, but I guess I could put like a purple pinstripe on the stripes.
I think you're onto it there, Andrew. I think purple with the metal flake. Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Or like black, but you look at it in the angle and there's a purple hue to it.
Oh. So her car's got boat flake that's literally like that big. It's huge.
You could maybe keep it black and then put like some purple ghost flames on it. There you go.
Ooh, that'd look good.
Yeah.
I painted the Shelby stripes on it, and it looked pretty good. So I might put some purple pinstripes on it. That'd make her happy.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like you got all the old cars, CB. You're working on a 68 Chevy van, and
well, that's for a girl. She does a lot for my car club. She supports us a lot, and our car club just kind of voluntold us that we were going to work on it for her, and so couldn't refuse. She does a lot, so
cool.
Yeah, I got a 64 Impala, 71 Trans Am, 65 Mustang. My daily driver is a 77 Suburban.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What you showing us, Tom? I didn't mean to cut you off, but
probably my favorite modern knife here. My good old Buck Sprint Pro Ops.
Oh yeah,
that is pretty.
Yeah, I think they came out with another limited run this year on some of these.
Oh yeah.
They did just I think just this last week. I think
Yeah, I think so.
that was in the email. Yeah.
So they only made this one year with the blue and black on it, and with this curve down in it, like this. But yeah, I just love this knife.
Yeah. It's pretty.
Yep,
Is the action pretty smooth on it?
it is. Of course, I follow it, but it is very smooth. I think, if I remember right, it's got ball bearings, and it's their first ball bearing knife.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm not 100% on that. But yeah, it's pretty smooth. But I really like. I just love the handle material. I like blue.
Yep.
I wish they'd have come out one in purple though. That's why I would have went for that.
It's always got to be some of that. But I brought my blue knife out also, which is very similar. This is the Reich P105. This is the Fang.
Oh, that does look, yeah,
Yeah, very similar.
different blade.
Yep, nice big beefy blade on it,
It is.
and really neat carved. This is a G10, so all these little divots and stuff. I don't know if you can see that, but these all are indentations. It's got this big fat, almost like a 1970s tie pocket clip. But it's very comfortable in hand. I like it. Nice budget alternative to the buck. That's for sure.
Is that, do you consider that a drop point?
Yeah, drop point or kind of a spear point. I mean, it does kind of go down, but I think it's more of a spear.
Yeah.
But yeah, whoever wants to argue that, let us know in the chat. That's for sure.
I'll win the argument and just say it's a modified drop point.
There you go. That's always it. You put modified in front of it, and there you go. yeah. Jerome says that looks very convincing in any argument.
Mhm.
I don't know about you guys, but the most must-have knife ever made is the Rough Rider smallest knife in the world.
I've got one.
What is that thing?
That's
I
the
gotta
Rough Rider smallest knife in the world.
Oh my goodness, that is teeny tiny.
Yeah, that gives you perspective on it.
Oh my goodness. I gotta
So
squint to see that.
the cool thing is it's got this little clevis on the back. And so my wife has made me order 3 more of these, and she's going to make earrings and a necklace out of them.
Oh, get out.
I was. Oh,
Because look, like
Perfect.
you see, that'd be pretty neat. Now she's going to keep it closed, of course, but
Yeah, I was going to say, don't wear it open.
Stick
Yeah.
with that.
that's the must-have knife of 2024 right there.
What's the close length on that? 3/4 of an inch?
I'd say more like a half.
it has a 1/2-inch cutting edge.
Half inch cutting edge.
Yeah. So about
Is it
about-
gold? Like, is it gold colored or is it just
It's,
my eyes?
yeah, it's a gold color.
Okay. It's pretty.
That's-
It looks like jewelry.
CB, that's funny because my little brother just gave me one of those, and I can't find it. I probably lost it. It's so tiny.
So
I got the box for it.
Yeah, if you vacuumed up your room, you might have lost your knife.
Somebody in the comments said I should buy buy one more and then make earrings for Mrs. KD, and she was like, "Don't even think about it." So
how many of y'all like buoys? Y'all like buoys?
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah, of course.
he was a wonderful
knives,
singer
right?
and songwriter.
They're huge knives, right?
Oh, God.
Yep.
What about that one? Y'all like that one?
Oh, that's amazing.
Look, it's got the coffin handle on it.
Yep.
That's your grizzly bear fighting off knife, right?
That's a 2-finger right there. Let me tell you. Good steak knife, I guess.
Yeah.
Only bad thing is they ain't got no sheath for this bad boy. It's bareback. So ain't that awesome?
That is
I
cool.
don't know. I've gotten into silly knives here lately. You got to have silly knives.
Of course.
I think these are just freaking awesome. But that's one of my new videos coming out for long. I try to give one every now and then get one every now and then to have a light heart video on, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like the knife industry, knife world can be so serious, you know. Everybody's S35VN, S45VN, 440, you know. Just everybody's so serious, and it's like, why? You ain't gotta be serious all the time.
Exactly. We need to have some fun. The other thing they do is everything is all tactical and mission oriented and all this other stuff. And in a way, that's why I kind of like the traditional knives, the slip joints and stuff like that, because they're just good old knives. You know, they don't have any. Their mission is whatever you're going to do with it that day. You know, it doesn't have to be, something for SEAL Team Delta. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I know this much. I would never qualify for one of those SEAL teams. That's for sure.
Well,
Hey,
I think this is like a $10 knife. I bought it, or flashlight. I bought it in Menards. You know,
no,
if I
that's
turn it around,
$10 with Snap-on on it. That's more like a $500 flashlight.
no. I was going to say, if you
How many
turned it
banknolls
around
do you
and
have to take?
printed tactical on there, they could probably charge twice as much for the same thing. You're
Well, I
right,
don't
RJ.
Snap-on
Everything's,
getting charged on it.
everything's
Definitely.
tactical this, tactical that.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, Snap-on, anything with the Snap-on name on it is way too high.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, they're made about 60 miles from here. Snap-on tools.
That's cool.
Whoops. Let me just throw this thing around here. I just want. Whoops! I'm holding on the wrong end. There we go. One of these days, I'll figure out where my camera, which direction it works. Everything's opposite to me. You know, my left hand is right, and everything's
If you go
backwards.
to settings, Dave, go to settings and then say mirror my camera. It will then
Yeah,
make
because
where
it confuses the
you're-
crap out of me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is the old light, and the only reason why I'm showing this is that this is very much not a tactical light. This is a little tiny pocket torch. I love this thing. I've been carrying this thing every day since I got it, but I got it in blue because blue is a friendly color. You know, it's not black, and it's not something that scares people when you take it out. I don't pull this out and people immediately think I'm a detective or a policeman or something like that. You know, I'm just a guy with a cool looking light, and that's why I like, you know, knives that are in, you know, these brilliant colors. You know, Rasputin's Castle just did a really cool open tag about cornucopia of colors, and, you know, show all your colorful knives. And I collect knives with color on them, because you take something like this out of your pocket and it looks cool. It doesn't look. I mean, well, this one kind of a bad example because it does have that kind of Tonto edge blade on it, but you know, when they're brightly colored, they're less offensive to people. You pull out something like the Cold Steel Recon 1, especially with the Tanto blade, and it looks like something a Navy SEAL is going to carry into the battlefield, you know. And around where I live, that scares a lot of people. So knives like this are a little less scary. They're friendly looking, you know. So that's all I have to say about that in the words of Forrest Gump.
Black G10 is kind of a stealth tactical color for sure, and it can be boring, all the black knives out there.
Yeah.
I'll take ebony over black G10.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love the ebony. I've got a Buck 112 Ranger in the ebony, and you know, being a musician, someone who collects guitars and plays guitar, I mean, the ebony fretboards, you know, feels the exact same. I even mentioned that in the video I just recently did. That I love the ebony feeling. It just reminds me of the guitar fretboard, and I think Buck actually works with the guitar company to source their ebony wood.
They do.
Which is really super awesome. That's a really yeah.
They work with Taylor guitars.
That's right. I couldn't, in the life of me, I couldn't remember who it was. I wanted to say like Gibson or Fender, and there's Mrs. Toad walking right behind me. She's so camera shy.
Yeah, but Gibson's in Nashville. It's a little far away.
Yeah, I
from
couldn't remember where it was. I didn't want to say the wrong. It was like G&L or Fender or something. Be like, no, that's not right.
Yeah, I think they're all G&L and Fender and all that stuff. I think they're still like in Southern California, and they still have their American made stuff there. But then they still have their factories that are in Mexico and overseas.
Good old Mexi Strat.
Yep, exactly.
Randy's WSG, Mr. Moderator, sir. Can you put a link into Rosecraft Blades? Kathleen was wondering where she could go to find more information on the seconds. If you could get that put in there, that would be great.
I think Randy, this is
Randy's
weird.
awesome, dude. Hey, Randy, how you doing, bud?
I can
Yeah.
try to.
I can't see chat today because I'm having to do this on my phone. Normally, I do the video on my computer and watch
She
chat
found
on the phone.
She found it.
Oh, she found it? Okay.
Yep, I saw the pictures on Instagram, from Baxter and Singing Toad the other was it last week or the week before when you guys were posting your old
Guitar
pictures
photos.
of the
Oh,
bands?
yeah.
And I was just digging through some old photos. I'm cleaning up some hard drive space on my computer, and I was like, oh, these ones I want to keep.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Back in the day, I used to be in a band called It Came from the Basement, and they were it's because we started in a friend's basement. That's where we started, and we were trying to figure out what we wanted to call ourselves, and the name just stuck. Someone mentioned it there, and the name stuck. But
That's awesome.
yeah, it was a good time, and that's back when I used to have hair that went past my shoulders and things like that. So,
Have you talked to Tim at Tim School of Fish? He's a guitar player too.
yeah. Tim's been he's quite a multifaceted guy. He's also a pipe smoker, and I didn't know that. I enjoy cigars, and although I don't really smoke pipes, but there's a lot of similarities between pipes and cigars. Sorry, I don't want to get onto a tobacco topic here, RJ, but
Oh no, it's okay.
I just we have a mixed audience here. So, but yeah, I didn't know he was into that sort of stuff too, and I mean he's big into. I'm into fishing. I'm into fishing. He's like my twin brother from Florida, apparently.
I gotta admit that went over my head the first time I read it. Good one, Michael. Good one.
Yeah, that is a good one. If it's a very popular band.
That's hilarious. Well done, Michael.
Absolutely. Oh, we can talk about anything. I mean, and I think to tell you the truth, the audience, we like to talk about knives and stuff like that, but they like to hear other things about us as well.
Yep.
So
I'm
yeah.
never on here where I don't mention a car. So we always talk about something.
Yeah, everybody likes knives, cars, guitars, and all that stuff. That all works. It all works.
It's funny that Michael's joke there, 'cause it reminds me of the YouTube channel Tall Fighter Mouse. He's like a gun. He's mostly a gun channel. They test bizarre ammunition. But the one fella on the channel, Officer Greg, he always makes that joke. Like I was once in a band called This, and it's some funny, silly sounding name of a band. It just reminded me of that.
Yeah, and Officer Greg has his own show now.
The Danger Show, yeah.
So
He's hilarious, that guy.
and what's funny is that those guys are just about an hour up the road from me where I live.
Oh, right on. There you are.
Yeah. I have no idea who they are, but I've been to those places and I recognized the background in their outdoor shots right away. I was like, I know where that is.
Sounds like you need to do a collab with them.
That would be awesome, but I don't know if they'd invite me. But that would be awesome.
Well, that's why they only shoot shotguns, is because they're in California.
That too.
Well, for what it's worth, I own a couple shotguns, so.
Yep, there you go, Twang Thang. He been a member for 12 months. Thank you, Twang Thang, for the commitment. And yes, we did. We mentioned cigars and guitars. Good afternoon to you too.
Guitars, fishing, it's all good.
Yeah, my cousin's got a 40th anniversary Strat. He's had it since the 90s. Well, since the 40th anniversary.
Right.
And He'll sell everything. He'll sell his kids, but he won't get rid of that thing.
There
But
you
it's
go.
nice. It's butternut yellow with a white pick guard. Pretty nice.
Yep. Yeah, I bought a guitar with the idea that I would learn to play guitar, and I still don't know how to play guitar. Instead, I just do YouTube videos. That's where I spend my spare time, is with YouTube.
I know some folks who can really shred on Guitar Hero, but they can't play a real guitar.
Yeah, my cousin's been playing since he was 12 years old, and he's 52 now, so he's
Yeah.
pretty good. But like most musicians, he crashed and burned.
He's in the same boat with me. Right on, Jesse. We'll just stand there and we'll say, like, here's my guitar, can't play it, but here it is.
Well, my only connection to guitars is through Buck Knives.
I understand.
Buck is getting their ebony now from Taylor Guitars. They purchase their scrap pieces of ebony that they use for their pick guards, and that's how Buck was able to get back to using it on like the 110s and 112s.
Right.
Well, I know for a while ebony was kind of like it was kind of outlawed.
It was.
Because
it was rare, endangered. Yeah.
And now they have sustainable ebony wood, which is good. They've planted these trees and they've grown to an age that they can be harvested, and they continue to plant more. So it's a sustainable crop.
And I think it's a very slow-growing tree.
Yeah, if you think about it, it went illegal in the 90s, and it's just now coming back around. So that's 30 plus years that trees have been growing, which is that's how they should do it anyway. They shouldn't be raping the forest to get it. They need to grow what they want and use it like that and leave the natural stuff there.
It's kind of interesting. Get back to Buck with recycling. Hoyt, the founder, he did his original fixed blades from old scrap files, and for handle material, he used lucite, which he purchased secondhand. It was scrap. That's why some of the handles would be yellow, some green, or mixed colors. For the aluminum, for the guards and that, he bought old aircraft, or he got it from aircraft airframes and stuff that he would reuse. So it's kind of neat how even back then they were recycling things, and now for them to be able to find a source for ebony, I think that's pretty cool too.
Hi, I'm Tom from Knife Delights. If you want a good knife, you need a Buck.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
We have a forever warranty.
Except when we don't.
They need to start paying you, Tom.
Is it that obvious?
Hey, it's a good company.
Okay.
We can sit here and joke about them all day long, but I mean, in the end, they're just a good company.
Yeah. Oh man, I think that's the first time that any of us has been imitated by another guest on the show, Tom.
I know it.
I love you, Tom.
I'm very humbled. I'm very humbled.
It's funny you say that, because I remember a while back. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. Excuse me, I have a toad in my throat. So
hence the title name.
I remember a while back, Tim School of Fish. He did a video where he did the intro to his video is he impersonated
with everybody,
50 channels. He included me in that, and he nailed me. I was like, oh my god, I've never seen anyone do an impersonation of me, for one, and two, he got me right on. I'm like, man, he even got the Canuck accent. That's brilliant.
Everybody on this panel, he did. He did.
He got everyone here, as well as many others. So it's like, holy crow, that impressed the crap out of me, and funny as well too. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a funny dude.
Yeah.
We were supposed to meet each other last year when I was at Georgia Bushcraft, because he was coming through that area And I was like, well, man, stop by, well, I'll meet you. And he's just like, I got to go. I can't stop. But we were planning on it since he's pretty close to Georgia right there. And he's just a good guy.
Well, it's actually something I've noticed. Something we all seem to have in common is that everyone here in this knife community, for the most part, has a good sense of humor and good personality. I
don't know about personality.
Well, okay, let's not get too carried away then. But I mean, everyone I talk to seems to be a pleasant individual. And I always try to look for the good in people, regardless of what's going on with them. So, it just seems to be like, I haven't met too many people who are into knives that are like rotten individuals, if that makes any sense. So,
yeah.
And if you look at the way my collection is, my collection doesn't make any sense. So, because I've got knives from kind of everywhere, and that's kind of what I do. I kind of collect everything, And thanks to some of the guys here, like RJ and Tom, who kind of steered me onto traditional knives. That in the past couple of years, I've been starting to collect traditional knives, and I've really gained an appreciation for them. So, even a person like me who basically grew up just collecting modern tactical knives, if you will, now I enjoy the old man knives, if you will, the things my grandpa would carry around.
You calling old?
I'm in there too. I got gray in the beard, so
I resemble that remark.
I'm kind of in the same boat with you, Singing Toad. I don't really like traditionals as far as carrying them, because I had an incident where I was making a cut with it was a trapper, and the knife spun in my hand, and with the pressure I was cutting, it closed, and it cut me to the bone. And I just,
oh wow,
it's PTSD for me with traditionals, but I like to collect them. And here's one that I just got that I absolutely love. And I hadn't done my video on it yet, but it's the Rough Rider Copper Trapper with black blades. And I mean, just that's a beautiful knife.
That's a pretty knife.
But I won't never carry it. This will always just sit and see how I can't. It's just PTSD. I know everybody loves them and all, but and I've explained this on RJ's channel before that that's why I carry moderns, is because a lot of times I'm doing stuff with my hands and I need one hand to hold something, and I can open and close a modern one-handed. So, but yeah, that's like a buck 110 or something, like a lockback. I'm good with those. It's just the traditional slip joints. I just can't do them. I know everybody, has an affinity for them because, their granddad carried them, their dad carried them. So it's kind of what you know. But yeah, when you almost cut your finger off, it's kind of, I don't want to do it no more. So,
would you like me to answer Eric's question?
Yes, and also Twang Thang just gifted a RJ's Knives membership, so I don't know who. It looks like did Randy win that?
Yeah, he won one on the Slippy Thrifty show today. Also, he gets them all.
Yeah.
He deserves it though. All the hard work.
Yes. Awesome.
Let me get a couple knives out, and I can answer Eric's question.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and do that, and then you can answer this, Andrew. Marvin wanted to know if anybody has a coupon for Rosecraft.
Tim School of Fish does. I think it's all capitals.
Isn't it Tim Fish?
Tim Fish or something like that. I think his channel would have more. And I think Big Red EDC also has one. I think
Choir Boys Outdoors does too.
What's that?
I think Choir Boys Outdoors has one as well.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you get the 10% off, but it doesn't work on sale items.
Right.
So, you can't apply it toward a second. But if you're going for a full price knife, It does. It'll cover like taxes or shipping or something like that.
Yeah. And now we know the answer of why Randy wins all the memberships.
Tom's back, but
Crazy stuff.
here's a copper lock. It's a copper
Okay.
head, and it's a locking copper. But Tom's back with his knife, so I'll let him.
Yeah, we'll let Tom take it away, Professor Tom.
Oh, okay. Well,
Let me tell you about some buck knives.
He's got to talk about a case knife, so he had
Yeah.
to research this.
I did because I get confused. So that was a great that was a great question. So this is a copper head, okay? And it's a copper head. It's like a half canoe because it's got this here. So that's a copper head, and I always say copper head when I mean copper lock and vice versa. So this is the mini copper lock. So it's not a full size knife like this one, but yes, it's a mid lock knife. So there's the locking mechanism. So what they did is they basically took the copper head pattern, as you can see the curl here, and then they added a lock, a mid lock to it. So that's why it's called the copper lock. So
I'd pack that.
it's a hybrid of two knives.
Right.
So
And then, of course, I'll show another knife that for Synthetic Sunday that everybody knows and loves. And it's a locking knife. That's the Roper Pecos. So it's got a thumb stud already on the blade, has a pocket clip. You can open it one-handed, and it is a liner lock. So there you go, CB. That's all you need is one of these. 1065 carbon steel. Really nice clip point blade. Very comfortable. You can get all four fingers on it. Good knife if you like traditional styling with still you aren't giving up your modern features. It's a great knife when you're going from the modern world into traditionals or vice versa. It's that nice midpoint, so you're.
that knife looks awful familiar.
It does. It looks like one that, well, let me see. Can I see the weld line on it? Let's check it out. No, not really. You did a good job on that, Tom.
No, actually, Junior did it.
Oh, Junior did it. Wow.
Yeah.
His welding teacher must have been very, very happy with him.
Oh, yeah, I am very happy with him. I taught him. Well,
That's a good combination of modern and traditional, RJ.
did
It is.
I
It
do
is.
Yeah,
carry a traditional and a modern, but that's the only one you need, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it kind of covers all the best of all the world.
You're on mute, Toad.
So I just pulled a Tom there for a second. Sorry. I feel like I've got a bit of a cold coming on because I got like this tickle in the back of my throat. And I keep coughing.
I keep thinking Batman is going to show up for some reason. I don't know why.
You just never know. Yeah, so this is a little synthetic knife because I forgot the other topic we were talking about today was synthetic knives. This is a little tiny toothpick, and I just thought I would. This is the smallest traditional knife that I own. Not quite as small as what CB Tactical had to show there. That was super cool. That little Rough Rider. I got to get me one of those. But yeah, so this is in what they call Stagalon. So it's like a artificial stag, but it's just made of like a nylon material. This is made by Remington, actually. And this actually came in a gift set. And yeah, it's Bootsman. No dude booted, eh? Hey, grab your toque. Let's get on the couch. Hey? The Gocky Hoser. So, yeah, this is made by Remington. And from, I can't remember who it was who told me this. It could have been Tom from Knife Delights, or it could have been Pete from Knife Slice. I forget who it was, but apparently Remington, these knives are actually made in the same factory in China where Buck makes their Chinese-made knives. This is in 420 J2 steel. And I would believe that because this thing came out of the box razor sharp, and every buck knife that I've ever gotten, whether it's a Chinese model or a USA made, has always come razor sharp. Never gotten a buck with a dull edge on it. And I can't say that to other brands of knives that I've purchased. Actually, where is it here? I have a very expensive knife that came out of the box with a less than luster edge on it. Here it is. Let me fish it out. So this is a Boker Bronco, and this is a very expensive knife. And these things retail for like $300 here in Canada. And this thing came out of the box with a not very sharp edge on it. I've corrected that, put my own edge on it. But yeah, so anyway, that's all I have to say about that.
Okay. I've always had good luck with Rough Rider knives too, being inexpensive, but they usually come with a really good edge on them.
Yeah, I agree. I've got I've only had two so far, and they both came sharp out of the box. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, RJ, that Jesse McJames sent me this really cool USN survival knife, World War II era. This great big, huge folding knife. I mean, I just wanted to let him know it'll be a couple weeks and I'll get that knife back to you. I got to let Junior do a little welding job on it too. So.
Oh, no.
But don't fear. You won't even notice, Jesse. You won't even notice.
Boy, that's tough. That's tough. All right. So, did anybody want to bring up another topic or maybe show a knife?
I'll show a knife. Well, I'm looking for my mini Congress because Elon had a question. What knives do you keep in your beard? I can't seem to find it. I must have lost it in my beard. Mini Congress. I could probably open it and stick it in. This is just a Cane Creek by Rosecraft. It's G10. I do prefer bone or micarta or wood handles, but I really like the orange on this Rosecraft, and I'm a real sucker for the Coke bottle pattern. And this is a good one, about 3.5 inches. I like how they do the orange and the red and the black together, and a really cool clip point blade. But just wanted to show a synthetic. The gun stock is micarta. I guess you would consider that, synthetic. And thank you very much, RJ. This is an incredible knife. Thank you for turning me on to this and getting me to buy it. I love that knife. Great size. And this is a little smaller, but if you like orange and you like Coke bottles, this is definitely a unique one.
Yeah, I agree that gun stock is it's an awesome knife.
It's a great size. It's not too big. It's not too small. And of course, you got to love the clip point blade.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And the micarta on this is way nicer than the micarta they used to use. Of course, it's hard to see the detail
right
on my camera, but you can kind of see the waves in there. Just a fantastic knife.
All right. Well, I had to get it out, but because I keep it kind of woven in there. But the knife I keep in my beard is this little guy right here. See, it's silver, so it hides in there really nice. You can't even see it's there. But when you deploy this little titanium beast, you're perfect for bushcrafting and stuff because you have that nice Scandi grind on it. It's you got maybe a finger and a half, 2 fingers on it.
It's great for batoning wood with, right?
Oh yeah, it'll baton logs.
That thing is a sword.
And,
that thing is a sword, man. It's too big.
They'll wind up outlawing that soon if you keep that up.
They probably will. They probably will. Oh, and Tom, you're going to show what one you keep in your beard?
Yeah, just a little small one here. I like little Bowie knives like CBs.
Yeah.
Are you holding something, Tom?
Can't you see it? I'll hold it up a little closer.
Oh, there it is. That's cool. I like that handle.
Yeah.
That's a cool knife, Tom. I don't think I've ever seen that one before from you. Is that the first time?
Yeah. I've talked about it before, but this is a Bolo from the Philippines. So
right on.
Comes with a wooden scabbard.
That's really cool. I know, Tobias Gibson has a few kind of knives like that are, kind of like handmade, and they're from like the Philippines and places of that nature.
We used to go out and train. I was stationed there. We'd go out and train with some of the local tribesmen with jungle survival and things like that. And they all carried one very similar to this. And, bushcrafting wasn't something they did on the weekends. That was still their way of life. And you put one of these bolos in their hands, there's not much they couldn't do.
We're getting questions about the pommel on that knife, Tom, the design of it.
Yeah.
People were wanting to know what it is. So
just how they cut it out, groove it out. But it's just a carbon steel. I think it's an old leaf spring is what they make them out of.
Yeah.
Brass guard. I've got another one here too. I don't know if I got the other one up here with me right now, but if I find it, I'll show it too. They'd like to see it. But so the Philippines is a land of knives. They've been known for them, and they are very skilled at using them.
that is
Yeah.
for sure.
A buddy of mine, his wife's from the Philippines, and they go 3 or 4 times a year. And they brought me back a Bella Song, a butterfly
Mhm.
knife
Yep.
that was made out of a file, and it's pretty cool. It's not it's loose, but it's tight, if that makes sense.
Yep.
The handle goes together real tight, but it feels just kind of loose. You can tell it's handmade.
Yep.
And
They came up with all kinds of weapons, and as a matter of fact, the yo-yo was actually a hunting weapon, and it came from the Philippines. They'd sit up in a tree, and as game come by, they could try to hit it, and if they missed, it came back to them, and they could try to strike it again. So it was actually a hunting tool. Interesting, after or during World War II, the Japanese discovered the yo-yo there, and they thought it would be fun for their kids to have to play with. So they sent a whole shipload of yo-yos back to Japan, where the ship happened to hit a storm and it sank 153 times.
Navy humor.
I suppose so. Well, I saw that Singing Toad had a knife. Why don't we go back on topic here? After that, what a great segue for you, Dave. Save yourself on this one.
That's not a knife. Awesome.
That's a knife.
Quarter-inch thick A2 tool steel, and I've chopped an entire tree down with this thing.
I believe it.
I made this myself, so
That's cool.
Yeah.
that's a kind of a clip point style Bowie knife. I don't know what exactly you call this, but I tell you what, I spent a summer building this thing, and this started as just a plate of quarter-inch thick A2 tool steel that I grinded out. It's hard to fit it all in frame here, but there we go. And let me back it out just a little bit, and we'll move that way. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
There we go. So anyway, this thing started as a quarter-inch thick plate of A2 tool steel that I just traced out the shape, and then I used an angle grinder and grinded it out. And then between an angle grinder and wearing out a bunch of German files, that was before it was heat treated. Like A2 tool steel is super tough. I mean, this material is no joke. And it took me like a summer to build this thing. And then I sent it out to a company called HMS, and they deal with a heat treating company in Toronto. And they heat treated it to a Rockwell hardness between 60 to 62 HRC. And I can tell you right now, they heat treated it really, really hard, because I didn't quite grind the edge down before I sent it out for heat treating, because the research that I did said if you grind the edge down too thin, it can actually cause the knife to split or chip out where the edge is during the heat treating process. So I left it a little thick, and I then spent like several days grinding with stones. And I actually like completely dished out one of my stones just trying to put an edge on this thing after it's been treated. I mean, So it's very 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 tough, and it has a brass guard, brass pins here, and this is maple wood that's just treated with boiled linseed oil. So, and that's my my homemade Bowie knife right there.
Nice.
I just saw a couple Bowie knives, thought I'd show one.
Yeah. I mean, it's never a problem. You can always show a Bowie knife.
There's a Bowie knives made in the Philippines. How about a Bowie knives made in Canada? Right there.
There you go. Nice.
I missed your story at the beginning about your deal with Vosteed, but I have a Vosteed here I want to show. And speaking of synthetics, handles and everything, so this is the Vosteed Raccoon, and it's Nitro V blade with Raffir Noble scales. And I don't know if y'all can tell, but it's kind of got a pearlescent look to it. And it's a button lock, but you know, I think those are some absolutely beautiful scales in person. It's kind of hard to see on the camera, but they are really kind of pearlescent, and it looks like you can like look through it a little bit, you know. They're pretty neat. But
Yeah, that's cool.
I thought Vosteed did real well with the raccoon here. I think it's real pretty. But then another knife I want to show y'all, since everybody's breaking out hand-built knives. So when I was at Georgia Bushcraft last year, I run into a little lady, and I got to talking to her, and her story just blew me away. She shook my hand, and you know, I felt like she was stronger than me. Like literally, it felt like she could crush my hand. But she started her career as a leather maker. So she would do like saddles, bridles, belts, anything to do with leather. So we got to talking, and I told her, I said, you know, for me, this is just me personally. You can have the best looking, most expensive knife in the world, but if the sheath is cheap or janky looking, it'll ruin the entire knife for me. I don't care if it's a $10,000 knife. If the sheath is crappy, it'll take away from that knife for me. For me, that's just me.
I get that. I understand that.
And yeah, I mean, I made you a sheath for your sharp.
I'm sorry, CB.
Right.
I'm having a hard time following along with what you just said.
So for me, a knife, it can be ruined by the sheath. To me. So, but anyway, I got this muskox from her, and that's OD green micarta scales, 1085 steel, with the etching. It's thick stock. It's hard to tell because it's shining off of it, but right here it says Warlander Enterprises. That's her company. But this muskox quite literally was the sharpest knife I've ever bought new anywhere. And you know, I just think that Amy, her name's Amy Valerius, cool last name to begin with, and then her company Warlander is named after a rare breed of horses. And so I think her story was really great. And plus the craftsmanship that she put into this bushcraft knife, it's just, you know, this is probably my end all fixed blade knife for the rest of my life. It still looks new now, but trust me, I'm fixing to get into striking on a striker, a ferro rod with it, and I'm going to bushcraft with it. So Yeah, that's my custom handmade knife.
I think it's very pretty, CB.
Yeah, and she's got these. I don't know if y'all can tell, but it's a yellow and black liners on
Yeah, the liners in there. Yeah, pretty.
and just the whole knife. It was like gorgeous. The only thing now I watch her on Instagram and stuff, and she's made different versions of this, but she's got a dragon scale pattern sheath that she makes, and it is really, really cool. So I'm fixing to have her make me another sheath with that dragon scale on it. But yeah, uh, that's my favorite fixed blade right now. Even though I got a bunch of Hinderer fixed blades, they just, I don't know, something about that one's awesome.
Yep. All right. Well, we're getting ready to wrap things up here. Anybody have anything else that they want to go over before we close out the show?
I still don't understand what CB was saying about sheaths, but that's okay. Now, I'll talk to him offline. I just can't follow.
I don't understand what
Breaking
the
up on
issue is.
my end a bit.
What's that?
He was kind of breaking up and on my end a bit. I don't know if it was my computer or him. Or you're making a joke.
Tom's giving me crap.
Yeah, yes. By the
Tom wouldn't do that.
shovel.
I think he said something about no matter how bad the knife and cheap the knife is, it's got to have a good sheath or something.
Right. That's right.
It doesn't
It don't
matter
matter.
how good your sheath is if you have a crappy knife. I couldn't follow.
I hear you, Tom. I hear you, brother. No, it is. It's a make or break for
No,
me.
I know. I'm joking around, but yeah, you're right. I'm the same way.
If I mean the Sharp Finger comes out with a decent little leather sheath,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but do you carry it more than you do your Kydex sheath now?
No, if I'm carrying the Sharp Finger, it's in the Kydex. Yeah. For sure.
So, to me, it's just one of those little quirks that bugs me about a knife.
Yes.
It's like the Rat 3. Take that for instance. The OKC Rat 3. It's a good knife. It's 1095 steel, same as the Essie, but between the sheath and the coating they put on the blade, I would rather spend the $30 to $40 more to get the Essie to have a better sheath and a better coating on the blade. But it's the same knife,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, CB, someday I'm hoping somebody will come up with a way to take a knife like this and just make the blade out so you don't have to fold it up. And someday, hopefully, somebody will make a knife like that.
That's right. That's right.
That's my
Mind
frustration.
blown.
Yeah,
Wow,
right.
what a concept. Have you thought about becoming a knife designer?
It'll be right around the time they figure out how to make wheels square.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Although they work better when you knock the corners off them.
You mentioned about a Sharp Finger. I actually have one here in the box that I still haven't even taken out of the box yet.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
That's the generational, right?
Built for generations. That's what they call this one. Yeah. This
Yeah,
is the one.
yeah.
Hold on. What model is this? The 152 OT. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Still
the
haven't taken out of the box yet.
carbon steel with a bone handle, and it's a nice knife.
Yeah, I got that for how long have I had this thing? A couple of weeks now, at least. I just haven't had the time to make a video on it, and so
Yeah.
I just got the little finger not too long ago. I like it.
Sorry.
That was a absolute knife that has a bad sheath, though. The little finger.
Hmm.
I don't know. It just looks generic. So I'm making a Kydex sheath for it for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess on that note, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. I want to thank you guys for coming on to the show today. And thank you for being in the chat, all you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry about my work calling, but I'm on call today. So, yep. Thank you, Blade Walker. He's saying very cool. He just wanted to thank us all for a great show.
Thank you.
So, yep, you guys all have a fantastic day. And just a reminder, we will be taking Easter Sunday off. So that's the last weekend in March. So we won't have a show on Easter, but then we'll be back in April. And I guess that's about it. You guys go out and have a wonderful week. Be safe with your knives, especially your slip joints. Right, CB? And we'll see you guys all next week on another edition of RJ's Lives. Thank you, guys. We'll
Take
see
care,
you.
Care,
everyone.
everyone.
Bye.